Hi, I'm Marcel, and welcome to my presentation on Clan Gangrel from Vampire the Masquerade. So, who are the Gangrel? They're these primitive, feral-like vampires who, through various means, are able to transform into a somewhat beast-like form. You know, like werewolves. They're not werewolves though, don't get that confused. They also have this affinity for certain animals, like, say, wolves, due to one of their disciplines. We'll get into that later. But animals are a little bit of their thing. Just like werewolves, you know? While most vampires are very urban predators due to them needing to consume human blood, a lot of gangrel actually like being out in nature and the woods. They have this connection to those natural places. You know, like werewolves. That being said, however, there are certain gangrel among their kind who prefer the cities, who would rather live in the cities. It's helpful because they can get blood from humans more easily that way. Some regular gangrel will like to stay in the cities, but there's also a variant known as city gangrel who clearly by their name prefer to stay in cities. So they're a little different from their regular kind, just like some werewolves. So, as stated previously, Gangrel have a little bit of an affinity for some animals, mainly canine, I believe. Rats are more of a Nosferatu thing, and this is due to their ability called animalism. The art being used here is a Ventru, by the way. That's not what Gangrel look like. Well, that could be what a Gangrel looks like, but that's a Ventru. And this is sort of because the Gangrel as a clan are, I wouldn't say more in touch or connected to their beast inside, but it definitely shows itself in a way more than other vampires. Quite literally, because they're bestial, they're connected to beasts. They can turn into animalistic forms. A little bit. The gangrel way of embracing is somewhat like a hunt. They'll stalk you. They'll stalk someone who they believe to be deemed worthy of the embrace, and eventually they're going to get their hands on you, and hopefully you survive that encounter. In the main lore of Vampire the Masquerade, Gangrel, despite their stereotypically primitive and feral nature, are mostly part of the Camarilla. However, there is also a fair amount of them that are independent of any sect, with the whole vampire politics and all that intermingling not being for them. They just want to hunt. Like the Bruja video, I'm going to talk off of the actual lore for a little bit. I think Gangrel should be mainly independent. It feels like their thing. Not even just that, it just feels like the Camarilla don't seem like the kind of people that would want their kind, you know? Beyond that, the Anarch are somewhat stereotyped as being brash and hot-blooded. So I feel like the Gangrels somewhat fit in with them, at least a little bit. And then you got the rest of them, because, you know, any vampire can join any sect for various reasons, even if it's not normal, per se. As for what revisions were made in 5th edition, I got nothing here. The Gangrel are actually relatively similar to what they were in past editions from what I gather. No big major changes, it's just more of the same thing. So, if you're familiar with Gangrel from the older editions, you don't gotta learn anything new, it's great. Now, onto the blood of the Gangrel. Their clan disciplines include animalism, fortitude, and protean. Animalism is essentially just being able to communicate with feral animals more easily. You can command them, you can talk to them, all that good stuff. Being able to subdue or draw out someone's beast is also part of animalism. I think that's really cool. Then we got Fortitude. It's 100 SPF sunscreen, you got that. Sunlight is still a threat, but now, with Fortitude, you can actually soak up the damage potentially, along with just increasing your innate survivability due to adding to your stamina. It should also let you soak up damage from fire as well. Finally, there's Protean. You got that dog in you, and you just gotta let it out. Whereas animalism is communicating with beasts, Protean is turning into them. You can get claws, you can turn into other animals, you can turn into mist. There's also parts of it where you can have a little bit of control over the earth, as well as a little bit of control over some flesh. Not in a vicissitude way, it's different, okay? The gangrel weakness is animalistic features. Going into a frenzy causes you to gain physical or behavioral features like that of a feral animal. It's normally temporary. I don't think it actually gives you the time frame, though usually it's for a night. But under dramatic or important circumstances, special circumstances, the changes could actually maybe become permanent. For the V5 revisions, you got the same ones. It's about the same package. It's a little different because of the way the system works now. Now, Fortitude actually has actual abilities for you in the first 5 ranks, as well as Protean being combined with Vicissitude. So while lore-wise a Gangrel wouldn't take those abilities, you could. Via system rules, a Gangrel could take flesh crafting. Animalistic features returns as your weakness. However, there's a few more codified rules to it. Firstly, whenever you take a feature, one of your attributes is reduced by 1. And it's also plainly stated that it lasts until the end of the next night. But you can take an alternate weakness known as survival instincts, which makes your beast especially powerful when controlling you, but also wanting to really get out of dangerous situations. Should you have a terror frenzy, your dice pool to resist it is reduced by the Bane's severity. For your compulsion, it's called Feral Impulse. Your mind is reduced to a primal state. You gain a 3 dice penalty to intelligence and manipulation rolls, and you can only speak in 1-word long sentences. Thank you for attending my presentation on the Gangrel. They're not really a clan that I like to play because when I make vampires, most of my vampires are very specialized in at least one form of social attribute, if not multiple. Not to say that a Gangrel can't be sociable. The vibes are just a little different. You're different. You're unique among your kind, stereotypically speaking. That being said, having fortitude is a very good thing. Fortitude is always good. It's like celerity. There's no reason to not try and take it, and if it's a clan discipline, even better. Also, Protean at rank 2 with your feral claws. That's free aggravated damage. Not free, it has a blood cost, but aggravated damage is good. And then Quell the Beast is always going to be really cool. I don't know how good it is, but who cares? Anyway, that's all for this presentation, so bye-bye!